Welcome to part 3 in my 7-part series on marriage in honor of National Marriage Week USA. Have you ever had something you wanted to say to your spouse or your kids and they weren't listening to you? You tried 1, 2, 3 times and they weren't listening? Have you ever stopped and wondered why? In today's video, we will talk about listen, don't lecture, how to get your spouse and children to open up to you, and vice versa. So why isn't someone listening to me when I'm trying to talk? Number 1, is the environment set correctly? Are you looking face to face? Are they primed to listen, or are you busy? Are you running out the door with something on your mind, having to be somewhere on time, and then you spring a question or a conversation or a whole new topic when somebody is preoccupied? They're probably not going to be ready to listen to you. How about you? Are you available to listen to others? That's the more important question. Listening to others when they want to say something or get our attention. Granted, sometimes might not be the best time when someone wants your attention and wants to talk to you. You could be in the middle of working in the kitchen on the stove and something's boiling and you have to pay attention. So at that time, when someone has something to say to you, if it's not crucially important or urgent, you can say, hey, can we give me 5 minutes, please? So you can always delay, and then you give full attention to when you're ready to listen. Listening is very important. Listening is more important than lecturing. Remember in college, going to a lecture hall of 250 or more students? What is a lecture? A lecture is a one-way conversation. Someone has information to give to you, and maybe you're taking notes and you're trying to pay attention and you're gathering information. Lecturing is not very helpful when you want to develop a rapport and a bonding with somebody. Lecture is authoritative. There's a time and a place for lecture, but when it comes to developing good relationships, listening is very important. Now, I know that some people who know me well have accused me of being too talkative and not listening, maybe lecturing, maybe interrupting, maybe jumping to a conclusion on somebody. Well, I have worked hard on these habits over the years, and I'll have you know that people are surprised when I can remember some minute detail about some conversation or somebody, or when somebody started dating and when they got married. And they're like, how did you know that? And I just think to myself, because I tried to listen, even to the small talk, I tried to listen and remember. So the thing about listening is, it's not just auditory words that you're hearing. You're listening to me right now. Okay, great. But is it penetrating? Are you paying attention? In order for something to really penetrate, you have to pay attention. Your mind has to be engaged. So is this person important enough to you to listen to? Anyone who talks to us or wants to have our attention, we should treat them as important. I do anyways, even someone trying to sell me something that I don't want. I'd make eye contact, I smile, I listen, and then I will say, oh, thank you, I'm not interested. So paying attention and treating someone as if they're very valuable to you. So I hope that your spouse and your children are highly valuable to you, enough that you will listen to them. So what are your comments and what's your experience with listening? Listening often requires comfort with silence. Some people are uncomfortable with silence, but silence is crucial. The mind has to stop and think and compose thoughts. And maybe your husband or your kids have to compose some thoughts. You want to give them time to gather what it is that they want to tell you or communicate to you. So listening involves patience, and it involves quiet and maybe even solitude. So the next time you take a hike with your spouse or your kids, just walk along the path quietly. Don't say anything. Don't feel you have to fill up the space and time. And just go quietly. And you'll be surprised to let the other person talk first what will come out of a conversation. So you don't have to fill the space. Nobody has to fill it. Be comfortable in the quiet. Getting people to open up to you takes time. You can't just run over to someone and say, hey, and ask a very personal question if you haven't built up the time it takes for trust and respect to develop. Oh, how is school? What's going on? Oh, it's fine, it's fine. If you're one who doesn't really spend time truly listening, engaging with your spouse or your kids, one question, leaving silence for them to respond, might not be very helpful. So this takes effort over time. When you ask a young couple, wow, what attracted you about him or her? And you might hear, she really listened to me. You might find that a person is attracted to someone in part because they're a good listener. They really care. Listening shows that we care. Lecturing can show that we care, but lecturing, again, to me, is one-sided. One person has something that they want to say, and the other person hopefully will listen. Sometimes it's up for discussion, sometimes not. What's good about listening is there should be a give and take in the communication. With the lecturing, there may not be a give and take. Listening, to me, is very valuable. It's one of the most valuable skills and habits that you can develop. So it's important to be more quiet than talkative, and to be available, and to be accessible, and to be approachable. We all know people who are poor listeners. They're not really approachable, are they? And so you don't want to be that in your relationships with your loved ones. I hope you found these comments helpful. I'd love to hear some of your comments, so leave them in the section below, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day and make your marriage great.